Hi everyone, my name is Faith, and I'm going to be sharing with you my final projects, um, what I've been doing with them. So basically, I took all three projects and made one product out of them, a website, and I'm going to share that with you. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this website. I used a popular site called Wix, a popular design site. It's pretty user friendly, but boy, this was a lot harder than I expected. So let's go ahead and view the site. So here it is. Yeah. Disrupt the Divide, digital literacy for all learners. So basically, I created this advocacy group, and I'll share a little bit more about it for digital literacy. So let's go ahead and just take a look at this website. It's pretty basic. My daughter says it's really boring, so that must mean it's really good. Um, so here we go. I really like that. Okay, so let's join Disrupt the Divide and learn more about it. So I have an about me or an about us page, and basically Disrupt the Divide is a mock alliance of Minneapolis public school educators, mental health professionals, students, families, and community leaders that are committed to improving digital literacy for students and their families, because we know it's important that their families are literate as well. And so this is a group that does do advocacy work to shift policy on the local, state, and federal level. But more importantly, this website is a resource tool, a fluid tool for educators, social workers, parents, students, and other community members to add to. So the idea is that this is just a great place to go to find resources to increase literacy and equity. So if I were to learn more, if I click on this tab, I'm going to learn a little bit more about what is digital literacy and why does it matter. So this is kind of, I liked this link here. So if we go, that's about us, so who we serve. So while we're committed to serving people at every stage in their life, our primary focus is on Minneapolis public school students, and that's pre-K through transition. So all the children and their families living in the 13 wards of Minneapolis would fall under this umbrella here. So again, in addition to the advocacy efforts of this organization, this website serves as a resource tool for all the students and families to come on here and promote. And the idea is to promote equitable access to technology, digital literacy training in and outside of the classroom. And then I'm not going to click on here, but these are some from demographics and whatnot. Okay, so then here's my digital toolkit. So it'll direct you, if you were to click on this button, it takes you right to a survey here, SurveyMonkey, and it asks, what type of internet access do you have at home? And, do you have a limited amount of data allowed for your internet access? So it's really asking, it's trying to figure out who has what is the need in the community. So that's one survey that I created. And if you were to go onto the engagement box here, it would take you directly to the survey. For research in the digital toolkit, it's going to take you to my blog here, where I've posted a few things, like answered some essential questions, posted some informative links on understanding the cost of refurbishing computers, important information on the digital divide and its impact on Minnesota, stats on the digital, again, more stats on the digital divide, Minnesota, nationwide, and in Minneapolis as well. So going back to the digital toolkit, we've got digital inclusion here. So I've linked this to a government site here that is geared towards digital inclusion. It and then also has some policy information, so you can see policy 50 here and learn more about the comprehensive plan and the city's goal in the area of digital inclusion. It also has an internet access map, which is really helpful. They also have ways to get connected, so free computer training, low-cost computers. They have a map of hotspots for free outdoor access. This is just a really informative page, a great resource for everyone. So we've got PCs for People, Step Up, Urban Scholars. We use that at our school. So going back to the digital toolkit, I'm going to go to curriculum and instruction here on teaching digital literacy and digital citizenship. So there are all of these ready to teach lessons on digital citizenship that can be differentiated. I'm not going to go into them because it's a lot, but they're separated by grade level. And then I have this really nice informative YouTube video on what is digital citizenship if you have questions about that. Didn't really know how to create, or it just seemed like I had a lot of tabs, but I did create a special education tab. And this one I actually really like, and honestly, I would like it to look a little bit better than just this little dinky tab at the bottom, but whatever, I'll take you to it. This is what I have so far for digital tools for student-led IEPs. So we have a nice informative video on best practice in IEPs. This is in the Osseo School District where they're doing a lot of work with student-led IEPs. Minneapolis is kind of behind the times. They need to be moving towards more student-led IEPs like Osseo. So this is something that that educators can also promote on the local level. So just providing information on digital on student-led IEPs to parents, to educators, to social workers, to administrators is really important to get buy-in on student-led IEPs. So I provided some really cool digital tools for student-led IEPs. So I linked to portfolios that like example portfolios that people can use. So here's some in 6th, 7th, 8th. All of my students, all of my elementary students run their own IEPs. I think you really can't I've had students as young as 1st grade do it. And I think the earlier, the better you start with this, the better you are. Okay, so this is, we've got an online or examples of digital portfolios. This I like is a transition script that I have used with, so it's just or these are actually, this is a sample conference agenda, so I have to change that. And then I do have a transition script that I'll add to that. I guess I missed that. I got an IEP rubric. And then some assessments. And there's a really cool visual that I'm sad is not on here, but I'll add it. So that's just, that's some information, some digital, information, digital tools for student-led IEPs. Okay, so now we're going to technology centers. So we're leaving digital toolkit. I think that yes. So this is just some information on technology centers, and then more information on how Minneapolis is divided up into the 13 wards. And some people may not know which ward they reside in. So I've provided this ward finder where they can enter in their address, and they can find not only the ward, but the city council member who represents them. And so the idea behind this community technology center tab is that I wanted to create something where it was kind of ward specific, but gosh, this is labor intensive. So, and I don't like how this looks, but I'm gonna have to deal with it. So let's say you live in Ward 1, you type in the ward finder and you find out that you're in Ward 1. Well, here are some links to Ward 1 CTCs. So, and then what I've provided too is some Ward 1 demographics. This is a really cool visual. So these are just This is provided by the Department of Regulatory Services. And it gives us a lot of information on the neighborhoods, the land use, the licenses, the permits, how many people are renting, the demographics, the enforcement, all sorts of things. This is really important too, in terms of education and income, because that does influence whether or not you have access to technology too. So you can see in this area, you've got about 32.3% of people are making less than $35,000 in Ward 1. And then they have, just a map of all the rental properties. And I think you kind of get the idea. So if I'm in Ward 1, ideally I would come to this page and I would click on it and I go, okay, hey, Literacy Minnesota is in my area. What does it do? Oh, it operates like learning centers, and I can learn more. So if I click on this tab, gosh, I can be taken right to Literacy Minnesota, and then I can learn at Open Door. And these are all the different locations that the Learning Center offers. So they do you want to learn English, practice computer skills, or prepare for college? These are great classes for the adults we're targeting in this website here. There's also the Northeast Library, and that features a lot of things like, well, obviously computers and technology, and then you've got K through 12 homework help. That's really important. And you need to know that, hey, if you want to use a computer at Northeast, you can sign up for an appointment here. And then this is a really cool program called the Mississippi Watershed Management Organization, and it's geared towards youth. And the programs are all free. And if you go here, you're going to learn a lot about the organization. Pretty neat. So that was the idea, is that I would have all the wards reflected, and then in a perfect world, then people could come and add more or suggest more. So, and then we have our contact page here. So that's my my website in a nutshell. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them after this. After this plays out. All right. Thank you.